So we all know that staying hydrated is absolutely vital, and it'll be an uphill battle after surgery. So stay tuned to hear some of my tips for staying hydrated. Hello, welcome to Book of Erica. This is the place where you go to hear all things bariatric surgery, pre-op, post-op, and life after complications. My name is Erica. I am a nearly 12-year veteran of the gastric bypass surgery. I am not a medical professional, but I am a patient who's had lots of experience, and I want to share that experience with you so that you can go into your journey knowing a little more about what's going on than I went into mine with. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so that you know when I upload a new video. We are talking about the pre-op steps for post-op success. So if you've been following these, I've got a list of 8 things that I think you can do preoperatively to make your life after surgery that much more successful. If you haven't already gotten that list, there's a link to it in the description box below, but I'm making videos every week to kind of go over each one in a little bit more depth. We have already been over the multivitamin, the protein, building healthy habits, and being thrifty when trying to build a wardrobe for our downward spiral. Today we're going to talk about step number 5, which is finding ways to ensure that you get your fluid in after surgery. So let's hop in this. Now, the number one question that I get from people is, does coffee count? And yes and no. My surgeon believes that it is a very good idea to flush your stomach first thing in the morning with something very warm. So whether that's coffee, hot tea, hot chocolate, hot cider, whatever, just hot water. Flush your pouch out because your postnasal drip will build up in your stomach overnight and it can make you nauseous. So if you're having trouble with nausea, try that, it might help. But while it can be beneficial in that aspect, it doesn't really, it dehydrates you, so it doesn't really count toward your fluid intake, toward keeping you hydrated. Okay, I know it stinks, but that is what it is. So what are some things that you can do to trick yourself into staying hydrated? Okay, so the first one I call dirty water. I'm not a fan of tea, but if you're somebody who's used to soda, you can take tea, add some Splenda or stevia or whatever type of sweetener you want that's sugar-free to it, and boom, you have a sweet dark drink that you can drink. So, number 1 is tea, aka dirty water. Now, one of my favorite things immediately after surgery, and I did it for months after surgery, was I bought water bottles and flavor packets, and all of these different packets are sugar-free. You can find all kinds of sugar-free options now. Back then they didn't have near as many, but now I think they're mostly all sugar-free, which is fabulous. But you can just dump one of these into your bottle, shake it up. You have a wonderful, not really water tasting drink to haul around with you wherever you need to go. I also largely recommend any type of Crystal Light or sugar-free Kool-Aid that you can find that you can mix up in a jug just like the tea and keep it in your fridge. It's still water, it just doesn't taste like water, and therefore you're getting stuff in. Win-win. Another thing that I found that helped me to build my fluid intake after surgery was to implement diet juices. Not the reduced sugar, because those still have quite a bit of sugar in it, but if you can find the diet ones, they're generally sugar-free. Or they have really low amounts of sugar. Like this one in particular, sorry, I'm trying not to step on my dog. This one in particular has 1 gram of sugar. You can't beat that. So, highly recommend these. I can drink one of these in no time. Makes me feel better, flushes the kidneys, like all good things. You can find diet juices in all kinds of flavors now. It used to just be, I think I had found initially a diet grape juice and a diet apple juice, but now you can find all kinds of stuff. It's everywhere. Just look in the juice aisle, look for diet juices. you're good to go. And lastly, the last little trick that I've got is you can take a glass of water, add a squirt of lemon to it, or Tarani makes sugar-free syrups that a lot of people use to doctor their protein shakes to make them more appetizing. You can use those same syrups to flavor your water. So you can have raspberry water or cherry water or whatever floats your boat in the water. Mix it up, drink it, you're good to go. And that way you're not just drinking Lando water. Now me, water was my friend. What I actually use now, and you can tell because I'm getting through my drink here, is G0. That is what I use to balance out the electrolytes that I flushed out of my system with the water. Now that you've got your tips and tricks to get the water in, the important thing is to know not to take big gulps. It can be tempting because that's what we're used to doing, but you don't want to do that. It's going to hurt you in the long run. So small sips throughout the day should be sufficient. You don't want to drink 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after your meal. And my surgeon said that the reason for this is that fluids act like a toilet in your digestive tract. So if you've got something in there with the way that we digest things, you want it to be there for a hot minute so that you can absorb as much of it as possible before it gets flushed out. Well, if you're drinking while you're eating, you're flushing the toilet. So don't do that. It's a bad idea. I'm guilty of it sometimes, but we don't want to do that. Okay? Let's just not. Let's develop that habit. Don't drink with our meals. 30 minutes before, 30 minutes after, we abstain from liquid. Also, you want to keep it whatever temperature is going to work best with your pouch. And you're not going to necessarily know that before surgery, but in my experience, warm water always made me a little queasy. It made me a lot queasy after surgery. So if there is a certain temperature that works best for you pre-op, go for that. Invest in whatever you need to keep your water that temperature after surgery. Like I like the Yeti type tumblers. Highly recommend those. Great things to keep around. I will link a couple just in case you don't know where to find them, relatively cheap. I will link them in the description box below. I am currently not an affiliate for anything, but one day in the future I might be. If that happens, they might be affiliate links. In the event that that does occur and you click on the link, I would get a small kickback from that, but it wouldn't cost you anything. I'm just throwing this in there in case one day I ever decide to become an affiliate. That way I don't get in trouble if I change the link on this video. But okay, we're gonna get past that. Okay, and our goal is to hit more than 64 ounces a day. So the bare minimum, bare bones minimum that you're supposed to hit is 64 ounces. We really want more than that, but 64 is it. Strive for that. Hit it hard. Hit it fast. You've got this. Okay, so there you have it. Water is vital. It is extremely important. You definitely want it. Do whatever you need to trick yourself into enjoying it more, and eventually, believe it or not, you won't want anything else. I know how absolutely mind-blowing that is. I had the same thought before I had my surgery. There was no way in the world I was not going to want Dr. Pepper. But guess what? I don't crave Dr. Pepper. Ever. At all. Now, I might kind of want one if I smell it. But outside of that, nope. Don't want it. So, thank you for your time and for joining me. I hope you're enjoying this series. If you are, give it a thumbs up and join me next week when I go over pre-op. I think it'll be step number 6. And my question of the day for you is, what drink do you have right now that you absolutely love? And is there a way that you can adapt that for after surgery so that you can still have it? Leave that in the comment box below, and I'll see you next week.